Today I'm going to be building something I've wanted to make pretty much ever since we set up here in the mountains. You see, I've got this minecart track going around the base, and whilst it's pretty fun to ride on, it could be a lot more impressive to look at. So we're going to take this concept and, well, size it up a little bit. Now the main reason why I've waited so long to build this comes down to location. I've just been waiting for the right spot to make itself known, if you know what I mean. A train track of this size needs a good location, and that location is actually right here, stretching along this entire section I'm flying along. Until we get to this wall. We'll figure out what to do with that later. It's a nice open space between some of my builds, which honestly needs filling in. Just between the crop fields over here and all of these buildings. I think it's gonna look great. You know, I probably should have cleared it with the locals before I built all of this. It's gonna get noisy. I apologize. But honestly, I don't think they mind. Having said that, there's no train currently, which is the main disruptor. And we'll get to that in just a second, but for now, a moment of appreciation for spruce trapdoors. It is no secret how much I love the spruce trapdoor. I use it all of the time and honestly probably way too much. But I can't help myself, they are just perfect. And this right here is probably my most spruce trapdoor heavy build ever. All of these are double thick, that's 2 trapdoors you're seeing for every one, and it goes quite a ways down. Not to mention we have them up here on the tracks, lining the railings, and just dotted elsewhere around this build. There's a lot of them. Anyway, it's all well and good having a train track, but what's better is, well, you know, having a train. Or more specifically, the locomotive, I should really say. At least that's the part we're building right now, the front of the train. Now, I went through a ton of different versions of this build before I got something I was happy with. Turns out, it's hard to build a train in Minecraft, at least for me anyway. I'm still learning when it comes to building vehicles in Minecraft, it's something I've never been great at. But a train was really pushing me to my limits. I struggled big time with this. Whatever I did, it wasn't quite right. It looked a bit off in some way or another. But after many attempts, I finally got something that I think looks pretty decent. You know the main reason why I think this is a pretty good train? Well, I asked my dad what it looks like and he said a train. And he doesn't play Minecraft, so that works for me. I think that's a pretty surefire way of knowing if a build looks the way it's meant to look. Just ask someone who knows nothing about Minecraft, and if they say the right answer, you've done a good job. Now I should probably state that I am no train expert. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've kind of just made most of this up as I've gone along. Same goes with the rest of the train that we'll get to. So if I say, do, or build something in this video that makes no sense to all of you train specialists out there, I apologize. As I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. As I said, I'm not going to pretend to be a train expert, but what I am going to pretend to be is a train driver. Choo choo! All aboard! Oh yeah, the rest of the carriages. I think we'll start with the coal truck. I got this lovely burning fuel and fire here with a bit of coal, but, you know, no big reservoir to shovel it from. As well as a bunch of other buttons and doodads that are meant to look like they're doing something. What that something is, I don't quite know. There we go, we can now shovel our coal straight into the fire to keep this train running. Though we are pretty close to the edge, so to stop this train careening down the mountain, I should probably, you know, put the fuel back into the coal pit. Okay, this is a good start to our train. These first 2 parts are looking good, I'm very happy with it. Let's just not pay too much close attention to the rails. They don't really connect very well. It would be great if this stair could just slot into this stair. That would be perfect, but unfortunately, Minecraft doesn't really work that way. Now there is something in this area that has bothered me for a really long time, and that is this waterfall. It doesn't really look that good. It falls a bit weird, but the location is wonderful. It has so much potential, and I've never really been bothered to do anything with it. So we're going to take a quick break from the train project and see if we can pretty up this thing. And besides, once this entire train is complete, having an ugly waterfall in the background, basically right next to the build, might just ruin it a tad. And sure, I could just block it off from the source, fill in the bits of powdered snow that have been destroyed, it would look fine. But this opportunity to improve upon the landscape has been presented to me, so I've decided to take it. These sheep are gonna have some lovely, fresh mountain water down at the bottom here. It's probably very cold. I had to put some lanterns around to stop it from freezing over. Now my way of terraforming in this world is pretty basic and a little bit strange. That's just a bunch of snow and stone up there really. So it'll take some time to get used to, but whilst we continue to work on the train, it should start to look a little bit more normal and overall I think make the surroundings look a little bit better than what it was before. Now we've still got some more carriages to add on to our train before we're done, but for right now there's a slightly more pressing matter. The train has no point of origin, it's just going into the mountain at the moment. And actually, we're gonna continue going on into the mountain, but in the form of a tunnel. Now, I am just wondering if I've gone far enough backwards. I don't really want to be able to see the end of the tunnel. It almost needs to have this effect where it looks like it goes on forever. It's obviously going to be different for you guys in the video because it's a little bit darker on YouTube. But I can see the end of that pretty easily. Okay, I've got an idea. For a start, there's a bunch of powdered snow all along the walls, which lets a little bit of light in, so I should probably replace this with actual snow. And I'm thinking if we replace this entire back wall with some black concrete or something like this, it'll give it the effect that the tunnel just goes off into darkness. You know what? I actually think that does the job pretty well. It's kind of obvious now you know it's there, and especially when you zoom in, but from afar and at a quick glance, I don't think I'm going to notice. The only trouble is now the terrain has a very obvious tunnel going through the middle of it. So I think just a very quick terraforming job is needed here. Alright, we got the tunnel, the waterfall, heck, we've even got the entire bridge. I think we should probably finish the train. Five whole carriages and a caboose. Let me give you a tour. So the caboose generally would be living quarters really. There'd be beds and other sorts of stuff in here for the workers, but as you can see I am pretty limited on room, so I haven't done much decoration. But if we continue into the carriages, you can see we got some storage space and some chairs and tables. And I'll quickly blitz through all of these because they are pretty much exactly the same. The storage and chairs and tables are ever so slightly different in each one, mainly just so we didn't have 5 identical carriages, because from the outside they are exactly the same. I've just realized my windmill up here is like the perfect spot to stand to view our train. It looks gorgeous from up here, but it does remind me that there is a glaring mistake with our train, and that is it can't really go backwards. In theory, there should be another locomotive at the back of the train, so when it gets to the end of the track, it can go backwards, so I guess it's stuck there. Now I could just build the track further on this way, possibly go down into the mountain here. I could even build another locomotive at the end of the track. Or we can do what I usually do when these sort of things occur with my builds and say, Magic, that's how it goes backwards. This train can go backwards somehow and push the carriages. I don't know, it doesn't matter. This is Minecraft, it's not the end of the world. But either way, this train is coming to a halt. We got the stopper at the end of the track. It must come to a standstill, so should probably build a station. So not only do we have this lovely station to wait for the train in, but I'd also thought I'd quickly whip up a small bridge going over this frozen ravine, or freezing ravine I should say really. It's still in the process of icing over. But I am a big fan of how this whole area has turned out, especially the contrast next to the big wooden railway. I think they work quite well together, honestly. This station, as you may be able to tell, is a little bit inspired from Studio Ghibli films. Same goes for the rest of my base really. I do like to use them as a bit of a reference. But this one in particular does look like it could fit pretty well in that one scene from Spirited Away. We've even got some signage over here. As you can tell, the train doesn't come by too often, and you can also grab some tickets over here behind you at the ticket stand. Best I could do with a 2x1 gap. This project is now so close to being done, but there is just one final addition I need to make to the train, which I really think is just gonna add the cherry on top. It's gonna be the finishing detail that really brings it all together. Chugga 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 choo choo. Oh yeah, that's right. The train has got its very own smoke plume, and I am really happy with this, honestly. Oops, I fell. As I was saying, I think it looks pretty good. I've never really messed around with this sort of glass building before, and it's probably not perfect and required a whole lot of finagling, but I'm pretty chuffed with it. So with that, the train project is officially all done. The build is complete and I am so very happy with it. I've had a ton of fun building this whole thing and designing it. I hope you guys like it as an addition to the world. It's probably one of my most favorites in recent times. It takes up a massive amount of space, but in a good way. I really think it adds to the base as a whole. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.